Welcome to Murphy, Sam, and Jody after the show.
Last weekend that I bought a ceramic cockatoo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you did. And I mean, look, when you go to estate sales, you usually come back with something cool, Jody. When you said, I found a cockatoo, I'm like, okay, I guess I need to see what this looks like.
I mean, it's so stupid. I don't.
It's not.
Well,
Don't y'all have a parrot, too, that y'all bought in Mexico or something?
We do. It's what do you call that kind of art? It's not paper mache.
Well, yeah, actually, I think it is paper mache. It's a painted,
parrot.
It's a painted parrot.
Isn't it like sitting on a perch or something?
Yeah, it sits on a perch. It is paper mache. It's beautiful art. It's painted and then it's lacquered. That's the word I was looking for. It's lacquered.
So is the
crafter.
Is the cockatoo in the same room?
No, they're completely different things. The paper mache parrot hangs beautifully in our kitchen. What do you call that kind of window we have? A greenhouse.
Bay window.
Greenhouse.
Oh, the box
I guess
window?
it is a gray window. You're right. It is a greenhouse window.
Thanks.
You know me.
Chip.
I mean, I confuse terms. Bay windows are the ones that kind of like go out at an angle, 45 degrees, and then they're flat.
Yeah.
That was a big 1970s style thing. You would have a bay window even if you weren't facing the bay.
Okay. So what we have is a greenhouse.
Is that why they created bay windows, so you get a better view of the bay?
I have no idea.
Probably so, and it became a thing. Somebody realized, we could market this across the U.S.
Well, it's okay to name something. You have to name things. Anyway, it's a greenhouse window, and that's where Mark Anthony hangs, our lacquered.
Excuse me?
His name is Mark Anthony. That's what we named him. It's a long story from years ago, and he's always been hanging in our house wherever we live. He's kind of a good luck charm, actually.
Yeah.
And we named him that because it's a long story, but the day we bought him, we also had room service for a guy who looked like Mark Anthony, J-Lo's husband, ex-husband.
Yeah. And so,
anyway.
Yeah, that's hence the name.
And this, yeah, there he is. I swear, remember he wheeled in breakfast. We had ordered room service. We were traveling, Murph. The kids were not with us. And it was like Mark Anthony brought breakfast.
It was.
And then we were out shopping, about to catch a plane and come home, and we saw this parrot, and I wanted him. And so I named him Mark Anthony. Okay.
Well, it was a shop full of paper mache parrots that we were in.
Yeah, it's true.
It was
the prettiest one, though.
It was because there's a guy, I mean, that's what he did. He was retired, and this is what he did for his retirement money. It was actually very
I didn't
impressive.
remember all of that.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy in there.
Have you named the cockatoo?
No, no. Well, somebody said Rona after coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I brought up the cockatoo at all, no, I'm not putting them together. The cockatoo is a ceramic piece, a beautiful piece, and I wasn't looking for them. I don't collect birds. Don't start buying me birds. I want less clutter in my home. I don't need to be buying stuff.
Well, that's what you're doing, though, right?
Hence the reason I bring it up.
When I first saw that, I thought of my mother. I was like, this is
really?
the kind of junk my mother would buy.
Really?
Yeah.
You have 3 lightsabers, and you're going to call that junk?
I've only got one lightsaber.
Careful about your slinging words there, Sam.
Well, you know what they say about one person's junk is another person's what?
Junk.
Junk.
And that's how I feel, Murphy. I don't want a bunch of stuff out. I like a clean space, and things that mean something to me get out.
Yeah.
Like Phoebe's art and pictures and things that mean something. Anyway, last weekend, I went with my bestie and Phoebe and the kids, and we loaded up and went to the first ever estate sales in the area since coronavirus. It's something that we enjoy doing together, and that's why I bought that thing, because we walked into this gorgeous mansion, and Jodi and I were like, oh, look at this place. There's a solarium. I mean, the way it was just beautiful, and I turned, and I'm this gorgeous $1,000 table. There's a lamp on it.
Didn't you say there was some like nice art too?
Oh, there was some real. That's what she's there looking at. Really beautiful art. And I'm sitting there going, that is gorgeous. She's taking a picture of the painting to send to her husband, and I'm like, look at that parrot. I mean, look at that cockatoo. And it was a ceramic cockatoo. It was listed for $30. And the lady who was running the lady who was running the estate sale said, "You like him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And I put him down. She goes, "I'll give him to you for half price." So I paid $15 for the ceramic cockatoo that I really like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's beautiful.
What?
Oh no, I was going to say I know that Sam is laughing at this, but the thing is, Jodi works, makes her own money, and that I'm not judging a thing. You know what I mean? If that's beautiful to you, and
it
and
is
it
beautiful
is,
to
you
me.
did get it 50% off.
You actually can't say a thing because out of the two of us, Murphy's the one who spends money on stuff that you're like, what? If we're being honest.
Well,
right?
but mine is new and functional and can be plugged in usually. I'm just
Not a ceramic cockatoo.
I'm just kidding. The only things that I bought like that, it would have been easy for me. And part of this, I guess, is because of what we do for a living. But long even before we were doing this for a living, as a kid, I was kind of like, maybe thanks to one of my teachers, I was into those old radio shows. So I became fascinated with old radios. And so, when those things started showing up in antique stores and all that, and, you could pick one up for $15 or $20, cockatoo money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Cockatoo money.
But I realized after 3 of them, I'm like, man, if I start doing this, because I had some
Collecting
friends that
something,
collected them.
yeah.
Once you start getting to 30 and 40 of those babies, now at what point does it go from collection to junk? You know what I'm saying? Or
An
it's like
obsession.
clutter,
Like,
right?
what are you doing?
And then you got to have a room for all the radios.
Correct, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I bring up the cockatoo. I didn't mean to go all these different places. I bring it up because last weekend, out of the blue, I bought that, and I still don't know where to put it. I should have just enjoyed it. It's in our bedroom right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and honestly, it's been a nice way to
You
greet
like
me
it?
in the morning. It's
It's right on his side of the bed.
It's a
near
soothing
the,
cockatoo on his
And
pedestal.
he's very pretty. His name is Ronan.
He doesn't sing, does
Get
he?
it right. He's ceramic. We don't even
Well,
know
no,
if
I
he's
mean,
a he.
if it didn't have a thing inside it or like a music box or.
No.
No,
I probably
that
wouldn't
would
have bought
cheapen
it
it. Yeah, right.
Anyway,
You're really not going to name it Rona. Please tell me you're not going to name it Rona.
I'm not going to name it.
Okay.
It's a ceramic cockatoo. Do I have to name it? No, I'm not naming it at all.
Well,
anyway,
no, if you and your bestie were going back and forth with names, I just didn't know if that was your plan.
we did that for fun. Anyway, I bring it all up because last weekend I did that because Phoebe really wanted to go, and my best girlfriend loves to go do that. I got a couple of friends who really like to do that on the weekends. And I was like, I don't want anything else. I got stuff. I don't need stuff. But there is something incredibly weird and exciting about doing that and going in homes like that and seeing stuff. You know that, Murphy.
Yeah.
Murphy will make a beeline to the old electronic stuff and vinyl and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm texting back and forth with her this morning, Jodi. She's like, please wish Tay the best birthday. Send her our love because Taylor's birthday is today. And then she said, P.S. some insane estate sales today through the weekend with a bunch of hearts. She likes to go just as much as I do. And guess who else is wanting to go this weekend again? Phoebes.
Yeah, I do enjoy them.
be-
I really do because it's some of the, there's two reasons, as you know, why I like to go to them, because I do like my occasional piece of junk to buy and bring home. But the other thing is, sometimes the story is really fascinating, or at least the story that I fantasize in my head is the story of the now deceased owner. Because
Mr. Notebook gets
Mr.
wrapped up in that one.
Romanticized.
It's the history of that. When especially when you're talking about somebody it's not an estate sale because of divorce or a relocation or whatever. You know what I mean? This is someone's 45 to 50 years worth of adulthood stuff.
Except that sometimes you're being sold that
What do you
story.
mean?
Sometimes
You think
it
if
is
they're
divorce.
lying?
Sometimes you might be a little romanticized into buying something.
Well, the guy. Remember that sale that we went to.
Calm down.
That sale that we went to. He genuinely was somebody that worked for the telephone company for a long time.
Yes.
Which tells you how old he was, by the way, when you say he worked for the telephone company. Right. But, there were books on how to run the telephone company.
Wasn't that the place with the nude painting?
No,
that wasn't right. But
I should have bought you that, Sam.
And
The
he
new
had
painting.
he had old phones in his office. It was like, this was the guy that so I'm thinking, here's a guy that he started his career back in the day when you could actually retire with the same company you started with, and
Yeah, you love that because you love the story.
So you think people are lying these stories, or they're just
not always, but sometimes
romanticizing
if
the whole stuff?
If it's a different outside company that comes in to run the estate sale and they're telling you, yes, he was a blankety blank and this is all of his. It could be
Doesn't mean
true,
he's dead.
but it could be that they also need to make a sale. You know, they're not there for the story.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're there for 15%.
I haven't had anybody who runs these sales try to sell me on something like that.
Oh, I have.
You have, really?
I've gotten into conversations. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I hate to break this to you, but this is a girls' outing this weekend. I mean, you can go to as many state sales as you want, but I think that Jodi and I are loading up the girls to do this one.
I mean, are you going to any mansions this time? I've never been in a mansion.
When she sends the word...
You went to Graceland.
Well, okay, that's true. I've been in that mansion.
All
I've been in the
I know
governor's
is that
mansion. But that's,
she sent the words insane estate sales, which means to me, for her, that means some paintings that she wants to see when she says insane. So we might. That's the funny thing. It's like I'm reluctantly because I don't need stuff. I don't need anything. I've got a home full of blessings and things I love, and I love the way it's laid out and simple. And
but what if you come across another $15 cockatoo?
I don't need a cockatoo. But you won't. You never know. That's the funny thing.
True. And look, I mean,
Never.
The only thing that you need to focus on is a little self-control.
And I do have that.
You do
110%. 110%. Anyway, just so you know, insane estate sales, I might be hitting again this weekend.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all at murphysamandjody.com.